Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Crunch talks resumed yesterday, but broke up without agreement on the financial arrangements to accompany the Scotland Bill. Everyone says they want a new fiscal framework. Catchy title, agreed soon, so it can be scrutinised by Holyrood. So, would you know a fiscal framework if it ran up and bit you on the rear?
Do you know what the fiscal framework is?
No, I've got no idea. It's something to do with economics, but I'm not really interested in that. I'm sorry.
Well, you're in the right field, I suppose.
Something to do with the legal system that the country's controlled? No.
No, it's to do with devolution of income tax raising powers.
Right. Okay.
No, it's not. It's not a big issue for you then, is it?
No, it hasn't.
No. So you know that they're going to devolve powers to Scottish Parliament for raising more income tax.
Yes.
But it's to make sure that Scotland doesn't lose out as a result.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Right, okay.
You can tell all your friends.
I'll do that, okay, thanks.
If I was to ask you what the fiscal framework is, would you know what I'm talking about?
Something about money.
Yeah, good guess, yeah.
And like the framework of it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, yes, it is a framework to do with money.
Yeah.
Correct, yes.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Do you know what the fiscal framework is?
I do, yeah.
Oh, what is it?
It's a new framework for financial policy in the UK.
You're the first person who's known that.
Really?
Are you studying it at uni or something?
No, I'm a geographer at university, but
Right.
yeah.
Do you think more people should, it's something that people should know about?
I think on a large level more people should engage with politics that will essentially affect their lives, yeah.
Do you think people understand what it's all about?
I think they've got a good understanding, better than... I think they do have quite a good understanding, aye.
I have to say most people here in the Meadows haven't really known what it is.
Well, I mean, it's one thing to know the nuts and bolts and inside out of it, and another thing having an intuitive appreciation of what's coming your way or not, as the case may be.
Hello, madam. Are you looking up the fiscal framework on your phone?
Not at all. I have no interest in that whatsoever. Sorry.
Fair enough. Thought you might be looking at the negotiations that are happening today, looking to see the latest.
Good try, Adam. Lucky old him, having to do the fiscal framework with people there. I mean, not many people did know what it was, and it's actually extremely important for Scotland. You haven't done a very good job, not just you personally, of explaining this.
Well, it is important. I think people do understand about the more powers that are coming, the fact that there's income tax powers for the first time, so they're voting the Holyrood election. It's the first time it could cost them money. But yeah, I mean, the fiscal framework is quite a technical issue about how you make deductions from the block grant that can then be topped up by devolving income tax, and it's about the methodology that you use to do that.
Right. I mean, do you think a deal's actually going to be struck? Because, as I said, we've had these crunch talks. They broke up without agreement. The SNP are saying that they will scupper any deal if there isn't a fair offer for Scotland.
Well, I think that there's a deal there to be done. I think it's a deal that is good for both the UK and for Scotland. I certainly want to see the powers come to Scotland. I would be very disappointed if the SNP used the kind of grievance narrative to walk away from these talks. Because
but if there isn't a fair deal on the basis economically, Ruth Davidson, of a population that's growing more slowly, the oil price, of course, we've also seen then Scotland will lose out financially if they don't hold out for a good enough deal.
There was already a model in place for the last Scotland Bill. It devolved a proportion of income tax. That was called the Hotham Index Deduction Model. You won't get that in the Meadows in Edinburgh. That was decided that it wasn't appropriate to use for the wholesale devolution of income tax. So we'll put another model on the table with no detriment, and technically no detriment to the UK or to the Scottish people. So we've been back and forward on different models. I think that the negotiations are at quite a delicate point. Certainly I know that my colleagues in the UK government want a deal to be done. Well, I think that it has been unhelpful, the amount of
So should they improve their
issues.
offer? I mean, if they want a deal to be done, should they improve the offer?
Well, they have come back, having moved substantially on this. We haven't seen anywhere near as much movement from the Scottish Government. I think it has been unhelpful, the amount of negotiation in public that has been done by the Scottish Government. So I don't want to necessarily go down that same road here.
Would you accept what's on the table at the moment? If you were First Minister, would you say now to the UK Government, yes, I accept that?
It's better than the Barnett. It's better than Barnett that we already have. I think that the SNP, as you would expect this close to an election, are being incredibly political about this. But I really hope that wiser heads prevail and they don't use the grievance narrative that they've built up so long over so many years to scupper a deal that would hand extensive new powers to Scotland that people expect when there is a deal there to be done.
Right. Do you think they've made up their mind to walk out on these talks? whatever?
Well, I think that's a question that you'd need to ask to Nicola Sturgeon and not to me, but I really hope it's not. I think it's good that the arbitrary deadline that they set of Valentine's Day has been moved, and they've been flexible enough to say that we can keep the talks going for a little bit longer. I think that shows good faith. I'm encouraged by that.
But you would accept it as it stands now if you were First Minister?
Well,
You'd be happy with the deal?
I think it's better. Well, in fact, it is better than the current Barnett situation that we have.
So, yes, you would.
I mean, I don't, you know, it is absolutely the role of the Scottish Government to try and get the very most that they can. But I think the brinkmanship that they are playing, I think, could be damaging to Scotland. And like I say, I want wise heads to prevail, and I want a deal done.
Right.
I want a deal.
And sort of, you know, 1 to 10, how likely is that, a deal?
Well, that's a question very much for the Scottish Government, because the UK Government is absolutely committed to making sure one happens.
I've been getting away with it all my